Michael Bernoff, it's awesome to see you, man. I appreciate you carving out some time.
Absolutely, Brad. We know we booked this a while ago and we're here. So let's see what we can do to have one of our great conversations. I figured it's no different than we're out for a run or we're at an event. Like, let's find a way to record it, capture it, and hand it over.
I love it, which, by the way, you have not been coming to lately. I used to see you at events more often, but you've been busy on the home front and in the office, right?
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of people's lives have shifted in the last couple of years. I went from busy, and there was a transition in timing. I talk about this a lot of time I work with a lot of real estate investors and stuff. And one of the things I learned is like your reason for doing something at the beginning and your reason later. So I have not had the time as much because our business has shifted quite a bit, but also as my little one is getting older now and she's a competitive skater, there's more stuff going on. So there's more stuff around the home front. So I built my business a little different and my needs have changed. So I used to go to events for one reason. Now 2020, when it didn't go for a minute, it slowed down a little bit. And then we wound up making more of our own events. So I'm busy with my events and I've been less available to other people's events at this point.
Well, let's get a little backdrop from you. So you have been, you're interesting for a lot of reasons, and I've seen you speak quite a few times. Human Communications Institute is your company. Yep. And can you give me a little backdrop on that? I know some of the fundamentals, but what's your elevator pitch on that?
Yeah, I think that's the way to put it. I mean, we're an organization, we're a company, we're on a mission to teach people that we believe that communication is the most underdeveloped and underutilized asset that all of us have in life and business to get anything we want, period. So if you want to get better at investing, you want to get better at selling, you want to get better at relationships, you want to get better with your body, with health, anything, the one common denominator is communication. And it is the one thing not taught anywhere at all, like we're doing anywhere on earth. So we just can't find it anywhere. So we figured, hey, if we can't find it, might as well build it and create it. So the whole institute is teaching the most cutting edge communication influence strategies in the world, from everything from the UFC fighters that we talk to right before they go in the ring, to somebody going for a big proposal, somebody taking their company public, or people you and I know that maybe write copy. And by changing a couple of words in what they do can be the difference between a 10 or $100 million launch or campaign. So it's very exciting, very rewarding, and a lot deeper than it even sounds.
I love it. Yeah. And so that's great context. And you've been doing it for quite a while. When did you start it? And what's the makeup of the team right now?
2003. I was about to call 2023, but next year will be 20 years. And I've been doing this since I was a young man. I'm 44 now. I've been doing this almost 20 years professionally, where it's been an actual company. And a lot of people ask me, like, hey, what are you doing these days? I'm the same thing I was doing 20 years ago, just more of it. And I'm not looking for the next new thing. I mean, we're just finding more ways to share and get better at what it is we do. So for 20 years, we've been literally doing almost the same thing: educating, teaching, coaching, and sharing with people how they can use their language and their communication to become more influential in their life.
And what's the makeup of the company? Like, how many people are there? What's the framework? How do you guys operate?
The way we built the model is we offer such ridiculous, powerful value to people that our customers and our students are sending us the majority of what we do. So and not for any other reason than it's a benefit to them to have the people in their lives be more effective. So our business model is not done through marketing and selling. It's more done through word of mouth and sharing. It's and without asking for it. It's fascinating.
Yeah, I dig it. And you're in Phoenix, right? Scottsdale?
Yep, Scottsdale, yeah.
Cool. So one of the things that you said right from jump was when you started, you had one idea of what you wanted to get out of the company,
yep.
And it's different than you do now.
Yep.
What was success for you when you started, and how do you define success now?
Yeah, I was driven by, a lot of things change in life based on circumstances. People get married, people have kids, people die, things happen. Like, life changes people in so many ways. So when I first got started, I'm a young 23-year-old kid, I'm single, I'm in the biggest thing, I'm going to be famous, I want to travel around the world, do big stages and a lot of like big events and stuff like that. That is the farthest thing from anything I want to do. I don't like traveling. I'm 6'7". I don't like being on a plane, even private. It still sucks. I don't care anyone private planes. Grant Cardone's not 6'7". Does that make sense? I don't care how big the plane is. It's uncomfortable. Does that make sense? Just getting on a plane. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's one thing. Grant's plane I'd fit on, but you know what I'm saying. But the point is, it's not my thing. I don't love wearing suits. I don't want to wear a suit. I like wearing a t-shirt. I have button downs I wear for events and blazers and stuff, but I'm not interested in speaking to hundreds of millions of people. I like working with the right group of people. And I find that the right group of people at the right time, of people that are really interested, excites me more than being Joel Osteen on stage or being the next Tony Robbins. That's not my mission. My mission is to really be under the radar. I mean, I used to want to be like, oh, if they're famous and be known. I would rather not be known. I like being known when I go to my favorite sushi restaurant because they'll feed me nice. But my desires have changed. It's not based on significance. It's based on I like going to the beach and not being bothered, and maybe someone will recognize me here and there. But that's not my drive. So at the beginning, that was my drive. Now it's impact and how do I just enjoy my life?
Yeah. So that's interesting that you. I think that's a fairly common process for graduating through life. When you're youthful, I think it's very common to seek significance, and it doesn't necessarily wear off for everybody as they get older.
And it's a drive. It's great for some people.
Definitely. But it changes for a variety of reasons. And one can be money. As you make money, you start to realize that that's not necessarily the most important thing.
Yep.
And the other, like you said, can also just be situations in life. So I want to talk about communication relative to, I think, both culture and sales.
Yep.
And how you think about developing there. But you mentioned getting referrals. So, I know you as somebody that is thoughtful in the sales process, and I've heard you speak on it several times. How do you sell internally? What's the sales process there, and what's your general framework for it?
Yeah, so a lot of what we do, I mean, we've got our business model is really very powerful. So we bring ridiculous value to people in what it is we do. So we explain and we educate people. We've learned that we don't have to sell them if we can educate them. And we educate people on what we're doing while we're doing what we're doing, and then the value of what we're doing while we're doing what we're doing. So when you explain to a person, like I'll give you a prime example. So I was working with the martial arts industry for years, and we found that the average person could get this will explain my whole concept. The average person could get maybe $200 a month because there's a set fee that people were willing to pay for a gym. Like you like to work out, there's probably a number that you'll pay like between $99 and $250 or $300 a month for a gym membership, no matter fancy dancy it is. What I realized is the ancillary benefit is the most valuable thing we have inside of our companies. It's the extra value. So whenever I market to someone, I make certain they understand the extra value up front, not the thing they already understand. So whenever we'd sell gym memberships to people and I would teach them how to sell it, then I'm going to backtrack into how I sell what I do. Instead of saying, yeah, we have a gym membership and we have 5 classes a week, when someone asks me how much it costs, I always tell them these very simple words. Wrong question. What would you like it to do? So if someone asks you in your main business, how much is your fees? Well, wrong question. What would you like us to do? And then they're not going to know. And then I quickly say, well, let me tell you what we do. We're a relationship-based company that works directly with you and your family to help raise your child. This is for the gym. There's different stages that children go through. There's the 7-8 stage. There's the teen years. And eventually they get older. There's all kinds of things that we need to help them become a leader. So for a couple of $1,000s a month, we work directly with your family. So one day when they're about 18 and they're off to college and you got yourself a really great scholarship, you're going to realize that we raised an incredible kid. They'll spend $2,000 a month for that. So when we explain what we do, we teach them inside of what we do. Yes, there's sales, but the real benefit of learning communication is how you respond to your significant other. Because at the end of the day, we'll teach you how to make more money, but then you forget about that. Then you come home and you're in a relationship or you're dating. If your dating life or your relationship life ran smoother, you would make more money. So we explain it in a way that there's additional benefits. So when they're out on the street, what they're doing is they're like, oh, dude, you got dating issues? You got to check out Michael Bernoff. Oh, man, your kid's having trouble getting their homework done? You got to talk to Michael Bernoff. Oh, you got sales? Dude, Michael Bernoff. Oh, dude, you're running a political campaign? Oh, Michael Bernoff. So what we've realized is we explain everything in a global format so they see ours as a solution everywhere. No different than in your business. I wouldn't be selling what you sell. I'd be selling what you could do with an extra 1% in your life back in your money. So that extra bit, when people are bitching about not having extra money, your traditional business, I would be marketing it that way. So if that answers the question, that is how we do it.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I don't know if I'll buy that way. I mean, I think that what you're doing is planting seeds all over the place for people to latch onto later. The logical path for me is there is this secondary or tertiary benefit that's pretty clear, which is if your kid is going into multiple hours a week into a karate studio or a gym, they're going to have somebody else taking care of them. And you want that person to actually be raising them, right? In some capacity, be thoughtful in that approach.
Yep.
So I guess, to that end, when you're dropping ancillary benefits and you're thinking about a sales approach that way, how much of that is actually deliberately tied into the product or thoughtfully tied into the product, or are they just sort of open loops that grab people and get their attention towards?
It's a little bit of both, and you don't need a million of these. I'm throwing a lot out. And when you share a technique or a tactic openly, what happens is instantly people are always looking for the next one, like what's going on, what's he going to do? It would just be very simple little lines like a gym, just to say we're a relationship-based company that works directly with your family. We could just stop right there. And that one little additive at the beginning does change the frame, because at the end of the day, if they've heard it before, or they've experienced before, they've already made their decision. So the reason you go to a discount tire to get your car tires fixed is the experience, you like it. If you've seen it before, people in the world today, so like my counterparts, like there's good guys and bad guys in all industries, right? And my counterparts, I know what I do, and I also know some shady people that know what I know, and they work for the media. They work for CNN, NBC, Fox, Instagram, Facebook, and they're called addiction experts. They work for these other companies. So they do the same thing I do. They get people's attention, they lower resistance, they make it so the Netflix show is so interesting that you have to get their $9 a month or $12. You push continue because you want to know what's going to happen next. We have to look at these companies and go, people make decisions based on your process being different than what they're used to. So there's two types of things. There's people that want thoroughly to be what they're used to, but they probably wouldn't have left where they were if they wanted that. So we need to offer something that looks radically different to get them to create a new neural pathway. That's the advanced version of what we do. So like when we bring you into our world, it has to appear and look different than what you're used to.
So let me break this into sort of a traditional framework.
Yep.
Is that the case in the marketing message? Is that the case in an initial sales consultation? What are the steps to the sale for you inside your company where you see this being successful?
When you come to work with us, everything in our business is, we got a very simple business model. Let's get people to the programs, through the programs, and refer their friends. I mean, that's literally our business model. To, through, and refer. That's our entire business. So then we get better at all those things. There's the before, during, and after of everything we do. So my job is to, when somebody gets interested in what we do, is to open their mind that there's a better way to do what they're already doing. So what I like to do is give people an experience. Let me show you how this works. So I will ask somebody about a challenge or a sales process or something they're dealing with. And if I'm involved, or there's a video with one of my teammates, or we're going to be working at a trade show, I'm going to be in Nashville coming up here soon, and I'll be working, there's a 2,000 person event we're going to be at. And while we're there, our team is designed to bring people to the table, ask them questions, solve a problem in a way they never thought of it before, for them to go, wow, that's interesting. What else do these people know that I don't know? So our entire business is to say, I know something you don't know, but to really know something they don't know, not just to tease them, and to say it in a way they've never heard it before. So like I would say, hey, give me your pitch, and they give me their pitch. And then we add 3 things to it. What if you said this? They're like, whoa, that's really good. What else do you have? Well, take one of our classes. Let me show you how this works. And that's how we do everything. It's saying it and doing it differently than they expected. It's a shock and awe concept.
Interesting. And so that, that needless to say, plays into the frame of the company, which is communications, right? Is being the communications institute.
It's congruent with what we do.
Interesting. How does that play into, so this is like, we've been talking about the sales framework. How does that idea play into the